Alright, welcome YouTube viewers. Give you a little tour of my new 125. It's been up and running since shortly after Thanksgiving. Tank's pretty stable, so I'll give you a quick run through what we've got going on. Alright, from left to right, here on the left hand side we've got the American DJ 4-port switch, running the pump, the power heads, the protein skimmer, and the sump light. Got two Ronco controllers, one for the heater and one for the chiller. And then down on the bottom there, got the 3 ballasts for the metal halides. 250 watt double ends up in the fixture there. A little divider wall there to kind of help things divide it up. One thing I did different on this stand from my other one is I made all the doors magnetic instead of hinged. So if you notice, there's little magnetic closer strips all the way around the sides and down there along the bottom. That way you can just take the panels off. Makes it a lot easier to work in the sump area, get to all your equipment. Over on this side, it's kind of dark in here, but that's where plug strips are with timers. For each one of the different lights. The halides are on one timer, the T5s are on another timer, and the LEDs for the moonlights are on the third timer. 3 dedicated circuits, one for the chiller and heater, one for the T5s, and one for everything else. Alright, so go down to the sump. We'll start on the inflow side here. Over in the far cabinet on the right, have the chiller down on the bottom. I'm fixing to change that one out to the drop-in. I had a little bit of leakage issue with that, so I got that piece of plastic under it to kind of see if I had any more leaks. I haven't had another leak, but I'm going to put the drop-in in there instead and move that one out to use it as my spare in the garage. So from up on top there, you got the beananimal overflow. It's been really nice. It's a nice quiet overflow. There's actually more noise from the fans on the lights and from the protein skimmer down in the sump than there is from the overflow, which is really pretty nice. So those 3 come down to the filter socks in this first chamber right here. Filter socks are great. They've been really easy to keep the sump clean. Socks have been changing them about once a week. You can see kind of how I made that overflow there, so the water keeps running in through the socks, and when the socks get dirty it fills up and spills over that edge. So that's my indicator of when the socks are dirty and time to change them is when it starts spilling over, and that's about a week's time. So that baffle right there keeps the protein skimmer in constant level in the sump, so I don't have to mess with my skimmer flows, do the sump level changes, because that sump side always stays full. You can see I got me a little 5-gallon mark there, getting my water changes figured out so I can pump that side down and get a full 5 gallons out of just that one chamber. Protein skimmer is working well, even though it is, some people like to make fun of it, but it's a great skimmer. I get good skimmate out of it, and I'm really satisfied with it. Up in the top, the plug strip on that side is tied to the chiller thermostat, so the chiller and the circulation pump power that strip to pick up from the feed pump down there for the chiller. It's tied off in the back, in the corner back there, so that pump and the chiller will come on together when it reaches higher temperature. The next one there is a skimmer. The only thing plugged into it at this point is the skimmer down there. I got some chaeto, thanks to some of the guys there on Reef Central for hooking me up. Got a nice little ball of chaeto growing down in there. I've been dumping all kinds of pods in my sump, trying to get the pod population established. They've been slow to come back since the move. Don't see much action down there right now, but the 2 brittle starfish are down there, and I got a couple of crabs down there just kind of hanging out, keeping things clean. Maybe a bad idea, you know. You guys comment if that's a bad idea to get pods growing, if I need to take out that starfish and the crabs that maybe they're eating all my pods. That's why I'm not getting my pods up. Got my 2 red mangroves that came from my other tank. They're doing well, growing. I end up having to trade them out for, hopefully they'll seed pretty soon and can start new mangroves. But they're doing well. The 3rd plug strip up there, that's all the power heads. Then I've got the bulk reef supply dual reactor, 1 GFO on that side, carbon on the other side. And I went along with the idea of putting some floss in on both sides of the sponges there. It sure does make it a lot easier to clean. And that stuff's been running for almost 2 weeks now, and you can see the floss has captured quite a bit of stuff that's in the water column. Picked it up there before I got back into the tank, so that's pretty good. One of the things I did do down here on the bubble trap is I put a piece of egg crate in there and put some foam on top of that. I've been changing that filter every week. Some of the guys on Reef Central there said you might want to consider that to stop the little pieces of chaeto and other stuff from floating in there, and that was a really, really good idea. It keeps my tank really clean. I don't have any chaeto in the tank. And then over on this side, the Mag 9.5 and the heater element down there. I really like the sump design. No bubbles in the tank. The return side has stayed really clean. You can see what little bit of stuff is down there in the bottom of the bubble trap. That's just the stuff that gets carried over when the tank does a backflow when you turn the pump off. So you can see the surge I'm getting here. There's my normal run level there where the black mark is. And then you can see my surge level right there. So the tank fills about 4 inches across, and that's a 40-gallon tank. So you get a pretty good surge off the top of the tank when you shut the pump off. That's a 1-inch supply going up from the 9.5. Up here I got my valve for doing whatever I want to do that comes off the main pump. I usually use it for acclimation, but I've used it to drain some water out. I've used it for several different things, but one of the nice things I did on this one instead of my other one is I just put a barb fitting on it so I can slide a piece of 3/8 hose on there and do whatever I need to do with it and then take the hose off. The other one I put a solid piece of vinyl tubing, kind of like that GFO carbon return there, and it always was in the tank and in the way, and so I like that slide-on barb there a lot better. Alright, we'll go up to the display tank. The beananimal is doing really well. Really like the design. It's nice and quiet. You can tell the fans are louder than anything else. And in the tank, I haven't really added anything since the last video. From my first tank, I added several fish, but I haven't added anything since I first started this tank up. Sand sifting starfish there. Got a piece of that Blue Ridge coral that's growing on the main rock. I fragged it off, glued it to a disc, and got some polyps on it, so it looks like it's going to do good. It's going to make the swap. Got that other green coral. I'm not sure what that one is. Got my orange plate. I had to handle it quite a bit when I had it in the other tank, and it did not like being handled, and it died back to that one little spot, but it's starting to grow again. Blue acropora. It's doing well. Big leather, it's always done well. Both tanks that I've had it in, it's done real well. There's the coal tang, doing good. coral beauties over there somewhere hiding in the corner. All my soft mushrooms and stuff, all the stuff that I picked up from Jess came with his original rock, is all doing really well. I've had a couple of mushrooms split. There's the yellow tang. There's a velvet damsel. And blue hippo. And one of the two clownfish. They've been working on a spot cleaning out there like they're going to spawn. I'll take a look at this blue ridge here, see if you can see the polyps on it. Yeah, you can see some of the polyps extension there, so it's really doing well. I need to work a little more on getting my calcium and dosing going. There's my Flamingi tang. That's Vern. He's one of the friendliest guys in the tank. He's pretty cool the way he changes colors, and he'll eat from your hand. He's pretty tame. 1200 power head there, and a couple others. One there. I got one more down, tucked back underneath there. Help move the flow around a little bit. That 9.5 didn't quite give me the flow that I wanted in this tank. There's one return right there under that rock. There's one in the back, right up underneath there. And then the two on the ends. There's one here, facing the power head. And there's another one around in the back right there, facing downstream towards the overflow. The fish really love this rock over here. They all pretty much hang out on this end of the tank. I wanted a lot of swimming room, and we got it. And boy, they take advantage of it. They swim a lot. I got some prime coral space, so looking forward to the next frag swap. Pick some stuff up. And up on the top I got that current fixture with 8 T5s and the 3 250 metal halides. Running my T5s about 10 hours a day, and my halides about 6 hours a day. Running 420s and 460s in the T5s and 20 Ks in the halides. I like the coloration. I really like the halide look, and everything seems to be growing really well. It's a matter of learning the tank, learning how it's going to behave, so I know better how to treat it. Just learn the characteristics of it. But anything that I would do different, not a whole lot at this point. I'm going to change that chiller out. I think I'll like that a lot better. So, comment. I appreciate it. Happy reefing.
Look inside the mystery, see the empty cross, see the risen Savior, victorious and strong. No one else above him, none as strong to save. He alone has conquered the power of the grave. Glorious, my eyes have seen the glory of the Lord. Glorious, he stands above beyond the turn